Well, I guess that was a major detour. It looks like Google Fiber is still working in my neighborhood. So I'm trying to think where I was. But again, I could be super stressed that I lost connection and I don't know how to merge the two videos together. I can just laugh it off and say that's just how technology goes. So anyway, I'm going to get on with what I wanted to talk about, which is using ketones for fuel rather than glucose and making that switch. So sugar feeds inflammation, as we were talking about before, from head to toe, but ketones actually are anti-inflammatory. They actually help balance out our blood sugar and lower those down. And I know you're hearing, again, a lot of social media about low carb, high fat, the healthy way to go. And this really isn't the Atkins style of eating. It's really using more plant-based or Mediterranean fats, like from olives, avocados, nuts, and seeds. And I like people to make it super simple. You can be over inundated by going to Pinterest and trying to pin the perfect recipe or find the right recipe book and cutting and pasting. But again, keep it super, super simple. I actually just grabbed a sheet of paper from my office. And I know it's backwards for you guys, but I tell people just keep it super simple. When you're on a low carb, high fat diet or ketogenic diet, you simply cut out all the grains and all the starchy stuff and you just replace it with healthy green leafy vegetables. So say that you're a pasta eater and you know you love pasta, well then we need to substitute that with something like the miracle noodles that are out. Hey Debbie, thanks for coming back. That was my big detour with my Google Fiber. But if you're a pasta lover, then substitute that with miracle noodles or maybe zucchini noodles, which are super yummy. Maybe you're a potato person and you just love potatoes. Do you know that you can make an amazing hash brown out of a celery heart, or you can make a killer roasted vegetable mixture with cauliflower and radishes, or you can actually take cauliflower and make mashed cauliflower for those people who are crazy about mashed potatoes. So simply start substituting things. I would say don't go crazy and calculating all your macros. Just step one, cut out all the sugary drinks for you and your children because they don't need them. I know it makes them happy, but again, that's not the healthiest choice for them. So if you go out of the country and moms are eating beetles and bugs and worms, the kids are eating beetles and bugs and worms. So what I challenge you is to set a really good example and be the dictator of your table. Have those healthy food options. If you're having a salad, the kiddos need to have salads. You know, if you're going to eat your meat without a bunch of ketchup and barbecue sauce and get rid of those condiments, then you need to do the same for them. Oftentimes I'll see moms coming into my office and the kids are eating peanut butter and jelly and juice boxes and these squeezy things. Well, there's actually hardly any nutrition at all in there. And we wonder why our kids are not going to outlive us for the first time in 200 years. We need to really just select foods that are very healthy for our body. And again, keep it super simple. Don't worry about calculating your macros. Look at your cupboard. The first thing I would do is clean out that pantry, get rid of things that are in boxes that you know contain sugar or high carbohydrates. Get rid of those sugary drinks in the fridge. Just dump them out. I don't care if they're not expired. Get rid of them. And then start making a menu. It's so important to plan. People think it's really, really hard to keep organized for the week, but I know simple things like every day can be Taco Tuesday at your house. You can have olives and avocados and use pork rinds or make a big salad. Kids love tacos. You could have Meatloaf Monday or Meatball Monday with a vegetable and some mashed cauliflower. Friday could be Fish Friday every single day. You can definitely do lots of different things with shrimp and shellfish and fish. We do salmon patties for breakfast. I love tuna salad if I'm intermittent fasting. So just try to make it super simple for yourself. We have a chicken day, a turkey day, a whitefish day, a redfish day, a beef or pork day, and make sure you get a leftover day in there. And again, I know this is backwards, but just go down the list. So if you were at my office, I would say, you know what, just take chicken and some asparagus. Well, if you don't like asparagus, then maybe do some broccoli. Then the next day I would say simply maybe do pork chops and cauliflower and maybe a salad on the side. The next one would be maybe some salmon and green beans with some lemon pepper on it. Just keep it simple. Select a meat, select a couple of veggies, and then add some healthy fats down there for flavoring. And the fats are going to be things like butter, MCT oil, sesame seed oil, nuts and seeds, add a lot of crunchy, good flavor to food. But again, keep it super simple and one step at a time. So if you're a person who cooking is not your forte or challenge, make it simple. The kids can have kosher hot dogs for dinner and they can have broccoli or carrot sticks and you can make fun things out of those veggies. The other question I just want to touch on, so that was keep it simple. Don't go crazy making this big elaborate menu. Kind of look at what you're already doing. Substitute those potatoes, substitute the pasta, and get rid of the condiments, and you're going to be amazed at what happens in your house, how much better you feel. You're going to find out that you're not craving things, and really that your grocery bill is going to go down because you're not eating every 2 to 3 hours. You're able to eat every 3 to 4 hours. Then the next question that I got here, and please feel free to answer questions if you have them, is I want to touch on intermittent fasting. I know it's a pop word going around on lots of social media, lots of videos about it, but we actually intermittent fast every day, because hopefully when you go to bed at night, you are not eating. So when you're sleeping, that could be counted as part of your fasting hours, believe it or not. And then the period when you stop eating the day before to start eating the next day is what defines your fasting hour. What we found out, when your body's burning fat for fuel or ketones, you actually increase your human growth hormone. So if you fast for 24 hours and you're a female, you could actually increase your human growth hormone, which is our anti-aging hormone. Everybody wants to look younger and feel younger, by almost 1,300%. If you're a male, it's almost 2,000% by simply fasting. Fasting's been around for several years, but I made just a super quick diagram. So if you're a person that gets up, and I don't know how to make it backwards, if you get up at 6 a.m. and you have breakfast, hey Anna, thanks for joining us, and you have your last meal at 6 p.m., that means your eating window is from 6 to 6, and then you don't eat after 6, and so that begins your fasting hour, where you're going to have water and tea, things like that. But say that you want to be a little more aggressive with that, and you're trying to really break a plateau or change your lifestyle habit. If you shift this from 6 to 8 a.m. that you eat your first breakfast or meal, then that's going to make you have a 10-hour fasting window. Maybe you want to be aggressive a couple days a week and do a 6-hour fasting wheel, and you want to eat between like noon and have a big lunch and then have dinner, and then you're just done for the rest of the day. This is called an 18-6. So the numbers just refer to the 24 hours we have in a day, so it's super simple math, and you can adjust this. I like to do a 9 to 3 fast. On the weekends, I do a 12 to 6 awakening with my family. So once you start getting fat adapted and cutting out those sugary carbs, your body will be hungry, and you simply eat when hungry. There's no alarm that needs to go off. Listen to your body. Remember, babies are born in ketosis. They cry when they're hungry and they stop when they're done. And so you simply eat when you're hungry and eat fat first. Anna, another way you can do it is really just look at the wheel of how you're shifting it. But yeah, just keep it super simple and eat when hungry, eat fat first. The other question I'm going to close with, which I know, Anna, this is probably, and Debbie, going to appeal to you a little bit, that people ask me, I'm having the Fat Mammoth coffee, maybe it's a bulletproof coffee or a keto cream coffee, you're putting something in your coffee or tea like healthy fats like MCT or coconut oil or butter, things like that. Does that count in my fasting window? The answer is yes or no. And what that means is, for some people, it actually will start their eating. That'll take them out of a fast. How do you determine that? Well, normally what happens when you're fasting, your blood sugar tends to stay really low and steady. It doesn't go up. And your ketone levels, as your body taps in that stored fat, may just rise and rise and rise and stay at that steady state. So if you wake up at 6 a.m. and you check your fasting blood sugar and your fasting ketones, because remember, when you're sleeping, you're fasting, if your ketone level is nice and strong, and that can be anywhere from 0.5 to 3.0, and your blood glucose, let's say, is 80. We'll just pick a number. And let's say your ketones are 0.8 or 1.0. So ketones 1.0, you can tell I didn't rehearse this, and your blood sugar at 80. If you have your fat coffee and your ketone levels go from 1.0 to 1.2, but your blood sugar goes down maybe to 78 or 75, you can have your fat coffee in your fasting hours. However, if this happens where your ketones level started at 1, your glucose at 80, you have your fat coffee, your keto cream, your bulletproof coffee, and your ketones maybe rise a smidgen, but your blood sugar rises, then that is a no. You just broke your fast. Anytime the blood sugar rises, you're breaking your fast. Why is that happening? Because your body's probably in some type of adrenal or cortisol stress. So the caffeine in the coffee, or even just a simple process of digesting, is stress for our body. So that simply tells us that that would not be, you would have to count that as your eating window. So if you're going to be the person doing the bottom chart and you think you're having your fat coffee here, but you're not eating your first meal till here, but again, you checked your blood sugar and it went up here, you were not doing a fast. The minute that blood sugar rises, you're doing your fast. Again, it can be caused from maybe just stress of the day. You get up and rushing the kids everywhere. Again, digestion is a process and takes energy for your body. Or your adrenal glands could be tapped out, or maybe you have a thyroid issue that's maybe just subclinical thyroid issue. But if your blood sugar rises after your fat coffee, then you have broken your fast. I hope that answers your questions. I probably had that about 50 times the last couple weeks, so I just really wanted to verify that. So anything you're putting in there, maybe it's bone broth you're using instead of your fat coffee. If the blood sugar rises, then we know that your body's not burning fat for fuel. It's tapping into that insulin or glucose, and you're going to break the fast on that. So hopefully I brought some value to your day, and thanks for staying with me on that detour. So the beginning part of this was detour comes up in life. How do you handle that? And that really dictates our stress. So as we loop it back around, just how does that apply for that fasting chart? How you handle your stress actually dictates how your body handles all sorts of stress, even just simple things like digestion and chewing. Those are all things that happen throughout our day. Our female cycle, driving, blinking, all those things are actions that our body takes. But again, when we can handle that emotional stress, then our body will actually handle any type of physical stress much better. So Anna said, I'd love a chart of that. Okay. Anna, I will do that for you. I was actually going to try to make a pinwheel and shift it, but I wasn't that crafty, and I still haven't figured out how to write backwards yet, but I will get there. But Anna, I'll get those snapshot and send to you. So hopefully I brought a little bit of value to your day. I want to come to you once a week, just really help sharing some of the questions that I'm getting through my private Facebook message and at the office about when do I count? How do I eat? How do I start? Again, keep it very simple. Start number one by just cutting out the sugary drinks, the excess condiments. Fill your body full of healthy fats and greens. I talked with a fitness editor today out of Canada, and he said he does a 4-to-1. That means he does 4 servings of greens for every 1 serving of protein. That's a great rule of thumb, I think. So people, make sure you're getting those greens and proteins in, and you're not getting too many carbohydrate or too many of those calories from your protein. So again, eat when hungry, eat fast first, drink lots of water, and remember to get well.